Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is a good friend to the show. I know he watches a lot of programming, and we saw him compete at last year's New York Pro, where he finished a very, very controversial 9th place. And I think a lot of people were upset about that, and I'm happy to hear he's in the Arnold Classic lineup in the 212 division coming up in less than 2 weeks. The man I'm talking about is Samir Troudi. Welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're all the way in Dubai, is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Now, do you live there, Sammy?
Yeah, I live here. I've been here for 3 years in Dubai.
Where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Sweden and raised there, but my mom is from Egypt and my dad is from Tunisia.
Wow. How'd you guys wind up in Switzerland?
Sweden.
Sweden. My mistake.
They moved there when they were young, so I was born there. So
that's unusual. You don't see that a lot. Middle Eastern people going to Sweden. That's an interesting. Do you speak? You don't speak Swedish, do you?
Swedish, of course, fluently.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I lived there for 30 years.
So your parents spoke that in the house while you were growing up, early, when you were a kid?
Yeah, basically, my dad always spoke Tunisian with me, but I always responded in Swedish. So
wow,
my Tunisian is very bad. I speak Tunisian as well, but it's not as good as Swedish.
You know, as a kid growing up, when you're exposed to multiple languages, you obviously learn them. But how do you differentiate which language you're talking? Were you confused as a kid? Did you know like one was Swedish, one was Tunisian, one was English? I mean, how did you differentiate the two? Well, the three, I should say.
Well, the first years I didn't. I mixed all the languages. So in kindergarten and school, they asked me what I was talking about. They didn't understand what I was saying because I mixed Tunisian and Swedish.
That's funny.
So,
when did you learn English?
English in school in Sweden.
Because you speak perfect. I mean, I would think that you're living in the UK or something like that, you know?
Thanks. No, I'll try. I try my best. Basically, here also we only speak English. Even with the Arabs, I speak English most of the time. So.
Yeah, you know, I talk to a lot of Middle Eastern guys, and you know, there are guys that live here, like George Farah, who still don't speak that well English, and you speak like you grew up on the streets of in LA or something like that. I mean, you got no accent, very, very little. You speak with slang. You use all the right conjunctions and prepositions. How do you pick that up? So you know, to such a great degree, and other people have such difficulty.
I listen a lot to your show, Dave. That's why.
Good answer. Good answer.
No, but in Sweden, we speak English as a second language. We don't speak it, but we read it in school as a second language.
Right.
So, and in here in the Middle East, they don't do that. So that's why, basically.
Gotcha. So. When did you? I should say, why did you decide to move to Dubai 4 years ago?
It was a lot of things that made us move. First of all, I was tired of the way bodybuilders were treated in the Scandinavian countries, and also the climate. We were tired of the winter weather, and when I decided to try to go pro, I actually wanted to be able to do this full time. So I was here 2014 and did a show, and we fell in love in Dubai. So we just decided to save a lot of money and move here. So
yeah, that was smart. That was very smart. Now you won the in 2016. You won two amateur Olympias. One in Spain, one in Kuwait. One at middleweight, one at light heavyweight. What made you decide to do both? Because you probably could have gotten the pro card from one of them, correct?
At that time, you had to win 2 amateur Olympias to get a pro card.
Oh, really? Wow. I didn't even know that.
I actually did 8 shows in 2 months. So it was a hectic period. So I had to basically win 2 amateur Olympias to get the pro card.
And you did 4, right? You did the Arnold in the USA, you did the Arnold Australia, you did Spain, and then you did Kuwait. You must have been doing some serious traveling that year.
Yeah, I did 8 shows in 7 different continents.
Is that difficult? I mean, how do you with your food and getting the training in, and it must be very, very difficult to coordinate all that.
No, actually, it's not, and I think at that level, when you're at that level as a competitor, you have to be able to do a lot of shows, and you have to be able to peak many times, and you have to be able to do your training and all the things around, even if it's for a longer period of time, and even if you travel around the world. So I don't really understand pros that do like 1 or 2 shows every year and complain because they have to travel a few hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, I want to also wish you congratulations on your wife being pregnant. That's a nice, wonderful thing. I know you used the pregnancy protocol, right? Did you use the Palumbo pregnancy protocol?
Sorry?
Did you use the Palumbo pregnancy protocol?
Yeah, I did. It was very good. I got her pregnant on the first attempt. So.
Wow, that's cool.
Faster than we thought. So that's good. That's also the reason why I had to compete now instead of when I was planning to compete in the summer and autumn. So.
Got you. Now let me ask you a question. You did the New York Pro last year. I was very impressed with the way you looked on stage. A lot of people were outraged that you didn't make the top 5. Was that because you had been coming off a really good year prior to that? Was that a little depressing for you to come to New York, look so good, and then not get the judges, validation?
To be honest, I knew what I was getting myself into the first year as a pro. You have to earn your spots and you earn your placings. And to be honest, I was just happy to be on stage and show my physique and compare with the top guys. So if I got 9th place, 6th place, or 5th place, it didn't really matter for me. So because I know how I looked, and I met with Steve Weinberger the day after. I did some posing at his gym, and basically he said that I couldn't even improve anything because he was so happy with how I looked. So that made me very happy. So
yeah, Steve's pretty honest on his assessment. So if you got the stamp of approval from him, then you obviously were doing something right. Now you also placed 6th in Toronto, and then you went to Charlotte. You were 4th at. So you didn't have a bad year. It was still a great rookie year. But that New York Pro, which is the big kind of the big time, so to speak. A lot of big names were in that show. Obviously, Breon was in that show, and then went on to win the Olympia. So it was a great lineup. But like I said, I really thought that they definitely overlooked you. Coming into this year's Arnold, what made you decide to want to step in to this type of a field right off the bat? Because obviously the Arnold Classic is up there with the Olympia as the best shows on the planet. Why did you want to go right into the biggest show?
Well, I always like a challenge, and the thing was, my plan was to do the spring shows anyway. So I just sent my application for the Arnolds, and then I said, if I want to be the best. So if I want to be the best, I have to compare myself to the best guys. And also, it's a great opportunity for me to show myself and to make myself a name in the industry as well. So
how do you think
how far I can get, I don't know.
How do you think you'll stack up against this lineup with Jose Raymond, obviously, in that lineup? David Henry, former 202 Olympian. Kamal, who you probably know from the Middle East. Charles Dixon, Guy Cisternino. These are guys that have been on the Olympia stage, multiple times.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just happy to be able to compare myself against those guys, and how well I stack or don't stack, we'll eventually have to see in 1 week. So, but I'm happy with the top 3. Then we'll just have to see, because it's all different physiques. Nobody has the same kind of physique, so we'll see. It depends on what the judges like as well. So,
what do you think are your strengths coming into this competition? You told me last year at the New York Pro you were 198 pounds on stage. This year you're weighing 207, so you've certainly put on probably at least 5 pounds of muscle, 7 pounds of muscle. Coming into this competition, what do you think is going to be your calling card that's going to enable you to beat some of these guys?
I would say symmetry and also a nice flow in the physique.
Let's not forget crazy conditioning too that you bring to the stage.
I would probably not be the hardest guy on stage because I've never been, but yeah, all the pieces together, like a good condition and symmetry and balance, I would say.
What would you say is the hardest or the biggest obstacle that you have in your life, being the best bodybuilder you can be? Because everyone has an obstacle. Everyone has like something that slows them down a little bit. What's your biggest impediment to being the best you can be?
I hate to diet.
That's honest. That was honest.
But I don't know. Maybe to be able to focus 100%. To not have to. If I was full sponsored, maybe I would be a better competitor. I don't know. But also, I'm still young. As I am the youngest guy in this Arnold lineup. Guy Sistanini is 1 year older than me, and then the other guys, they are old guys.
Yeah.
Basically. But
how old are you, Sammy?
So I'm 34.
Okay.
So, but I think I need time because I'm developing and I'm getting better each year. So in a few years, I will probably be on my prime, on my peak. So I think I just need time. There is nothing that is holding me back actually that way. So
you said diet is your hardest thing. Do you tend to cheat on your diet, or are you very strict once you get started?
No, I have to cheat. I cheat. I do. I need it both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So
what's a cheat meal for you like?
Sorry?
Give me an example of one of your cheat meals that you eat.
It depends on where in the diet I am, and like now the last few weeks I only eat like extra carbs from what I have in the diet. Basically, I eat extra oats, extra rice cakes, something like this. But in the beginning, it's mostly burgers, ice creams, donuts. I love everything.
You mentioned earlier you don't have a sponsor. Is bodybuilding financially difficult for you? How do you deal with the financial burdens of bodybuilding? Because it's hard to justify to your family, hey, I'm spending all this money and I'm not making anything. How do you get past that, and what do you do to earn money, aside from having a conventional job?
Smaller sponsors, and I always promise my wife that I never take money from my own pocket. So I take money from my sponsors. I have small sponsors like Smart Shake and Nocco and Iron Rebel. So, but I don't have a main supplement sponsor, which usually pays most. But these small sponsors, they cover at least the trips and the travels around and the absence of work when I'm away. So I promised her to never adventure our economy. So the money that I pay for the trips now is basically from my sponsors. But I don't make any money. I just go even. I break even basically. So
right. All right. Well, at least it's not costing you anything. That's good that you can at least cover that, because it's hard sometimes to justify year in and year out spending all this money on bodybuilding. It's really tough, and then you're not getting that return. Do you feel that the 212 division is underappreciated in the fact that you guys don't make as much prize money as the open division?
I think it's ridiculous.
What do you think? You see on the Olympia stage, the winner gets 400 grand, and then the 212 division guy gets nothing practically.
30,000.
Yeah. Should they take some money away from the open and give it to the 212? Do you think?
They don't have to take away money from the open. They just have to increase the 212.
Sometimes it's not so easy.
To be honest, I think even 400 to be Mr. Olympia is not that much money. I think I read all in all they give away $4 million each year in prize money, and that's nothing compared to what they make or compared to other sports. But okay, I never done this for the money, but I think it's like they don't put any value in the athletes, because the athletes are the ones who brings the people to the venue, to the competition. The athlete is everything for the organizer. So to give the winner of Arnold Classic $22,000 in the 212, and then you have taxes 50%. What is that? $12,000 at the most.
You're right. You're right. I know.
So
well, you know what they do? They now the Olympic athletes, at least in the United States, they make. I think if you win a gold medal, you get like something like 37,000. I forget the money. It's like 37 grand or maybe more. I don't remember. But they made it. But the government made it tax free, so you don't. So at least the athletes don't have to pay taxes on their prize money. Maybe they should, the Olympia and the Arnold people should figure out how to give prize money and get those. Maybe Arnold could work some deal of getting the tax exempt on those prize winnings. Who knows? Who knows?
I heard.
Sammy, anyone out there you want to thank or appreciate while we got you on the show here? For all their support of you during this prep.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for always bringing me into the Muscle in the Morning show and for having me on this live with. And
sure.
Of course, I want to thank my family, my wife, for always supporting me. I want to thank my trainer in Eastby News, Iron Rebel, Nocco, Smart Check that are sponsoring me, and all my fans, or whatever you should call them, followers on Instagram, and people that supports me in general. I love you all, guys. You're the one making this possible for me. So,
well, you have a very bright future. You're a good guy, and we all want to see you do well at this upcoming Arnold Classic in less than 2 weeks from now. Guys, make sure you follow him. Sammy, you were my dark horse prediction for the guy who might spoil that top 5 at the Arnold that no one's really expecting. That's why I wanted to get you on the show. I wanted people to get an understanding of who you were. So thank you very much for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule, and we'll see you in Columbus, Ohio.
Thank you for having me, Dave. See you. Take care, guys.
All right, and that is going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.